Hey, it's Chris Chico, and I get asked all the time, Chico, what is the best market for virtual wholesaling? Because you know what? I'm struggling. I'm not able to make things happen. And I'm covering this because I don't want you to see it until I'm ready to show it to you. But the challenge that I have with that is that most of the time it's not your market. Most of the time it's you. Most of the time it's other things that are not causing you success with your real estate market. But I'm going to answer that question in a way that you're probably not going to like it. And you'll be like, Chico, that was clickbait. If you know what clickbait is. The best real estate market, okay? And again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I say that all the time, and you hit the notification bell, make a comment. Today is the day that if you're not a subscriber to the channel, today I want you to go all in. You know what all in means? All in means that you subscribe. All in means that you hit the notification bell. You give it a thumbs up and you make a comment and you say, finally, Chico, today is the day that I went all in on you. That's what I'm asking for. I know it's a big commitment, but I think we're ready for that relationship. I think we are. So the best real estate market. Here's the deal. I want you to get over the hump of this because it's a block right here. It's a mental block. It has nothing to do with the best real estate market because the best real estate market is your local market. That's what I always say. If given the option, you start off with your local market. Because, and you might say, well, Chico, I want to be virtual. I want to just like make money and be on vacation, which is fine if you want to do that. But it makes sense for you to be in the local market, especially if you're starting out brand new. You know, even if you didn't want to meet with sellers but you've never done a deal before, it'd be great for you to drive around the neighborhood, you know, and take a look at the houses and be like, oh, look at that. Look at that piece of crap over there. Look at that piece of crap. And now you know what they look like. You know, it would be good for you to get a feel for the neighborhoods and understand, everything about the area. So now you become a better real estate investor. All right. So I recommend that you start with your local market. Now, unless you live like in a town that's of 5,000 people, right? And there's nobody living there and nobody buys any deals, etc. So maybe, just maybe, then go to the next area. That's the larger metropolitan area. Now, people will always ask, well, Chico, how big of a market? You know, should I go a small market or should I go big market? Every market has its pluses and minuses. If you're in a small market, it's easier to pick up deals. It's easier to deal with the sellers. But guess what? It's harder to sell those deals because there's not that many buyers. You've got to hunt and peck and really make a lot of effort to find the buyers. In a different situation, in a larger market like Miami, it's harder to find deals, but when you find a deal, when you get your hands on a deal, you're gonna make a good chunk of change on that. But in Miami, you know, you're like in a small market, it's just easier to talk to sellers. They're nice to you. They're like, oh yes, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about my property. In Miami, they're like the investors. You're dealing with ninjas. You know, you're dealing with investors that are ninjas. You're dealing with real estate. The sellers are ninjas. The sellers will run you around in circles down here. Okay, that doesn't mean that I'm trying to tell you not to do it. But if you're here, like right now, if you're here in Miami and you're trying to get started, if you're here in Broward County, stay here. Don't go anywhere else. Okay, because the fact of the matter is that you think it's the market, but and you could say, Chico, this is the bad market. But I went to a meetup. All right, and I saw many investors that were doing amazing business in the same market that you perhaps are saying that it's that crappy market and I can't find any deals. What are they doing that you're not doing? So you have to think about the fact that troubleshooting that question is less of a question about the market, but more of a question on you. More of a question in terms of, are you applying the right marketing strategy in the right way? Because you could say, well, gee, I'm doing direct mail. But then if I look at what you're doing with direct mail and you got the wrong list, you got the wrong postcard, your follow-up system is all messed up, then you ain't doing direct mail the right way. You're not doing it in a way that is going to bring you success. If you're doing Facebook ads, that's my favorite strategy right now. But if you're doing Facebook ads and you're not getting results, and you can say, well, gee, Chico, I don't want to do Facebook ads here because I want to do something in another market. But if you're making the same mistakes here, then you're going to go to another market and have the same results. And so, you know, talking with sellers, I talk about this all the time. You could be trying to do deals here and struggling. But if I listen to your call, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you sound horrible. You can't close the door. You can't close my car door. You can't close the jar on the peanut butter. You ain't closing nothing. Okay. If you go to another market, you're going to have the same problem there. And so it's really about I think it's a combination of two couple things. Okay, it's really about now again. If you're in a market of, let's say, 50,000 people, okay, where the metropolitan size of the people of that whatever state is 50,000 people, then that's a problem. I mean, because it's relatively small. You're not going to be able to scale that market. Meaning, at some point, even if you're doing well, you're going to have to go to a bigger market. I personally like a bigger market. However, if you're in a medium-sized market, whatever, then stay there. Stay there in the beginning. I'd rather you, like you might say, well, gee, it doesn't have, I can't scale that market. Well, that's fine. You can't scale that market. Get your first couple deals, okay? Shut your mouth, get your first couple deals, then you can think about scaling. You know, it's funny because this is a side thing. I get people all the time that email the customer service and say, Chico, man, does this teach me how to scale my business? And my next question is, well, how many deals you doing per month? And they say, well, I haven't done any deals. And I'm like, get the F out of here, okay? We don't talk that game over here. You got to get your first deal. Otherwise, what are you going to scale? Nothing, okay? So anyway, that's a little pet peeve of mine. So don't ask me about scaling your business if you have not done any deals, okay? Your question is, how do I get my first deal? After you get your first deal is, hey, how do I get my next 2 to 3 deals? After you get your first 2 to 3 deals is, how do I get 2 to 3 deals a month, okay? It goes in that progression. Now you can take and make that shorter distance in order to be able to accomplish that. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. Anyway, I didn't mean to just go crazy on you about that. But the bottom line is that it's a combination of most of you are in the right market. Most of you are not applying the right strategies in the right way, and you need to increase your capabilities in order to take advantage of that market. And then the other part of it is mindset. If you are tentative and you're going into a market and you're tentative about that market, then it's going to show in your effort to get penetration and to, I don't mean to use that word penetration, and get into, I've had too much coffee already this morning. You got to have the mindset that, look, I am going to find deals in this market. There are other people making money. And I want my piece of the pie too, and I'm going to go in there and I am going to find me some motivated sellers, and I'm going to get better on the phone, and I'm going to be a ninja when I talk to them, and I'm going to make stuff happen, because that's the commitment that I'm making, and that's what you need to do. So at the end of the day, is there a best virtual market? There isn't a best virtual market. There is you becoming the best. Look at that. I didn't even think about that. It's you becoming the best that you can in terms of your skills and capabilities and your marketing and everything else. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because then you make money wherever you go, because you're the baller. You're a big mother effing baller, badass, and you're going to kill it no matter where you go. That's my message for you today.